insane and crazy, but she actually lived that life. So we get to talk to her about it. I'm Francis Mayer. This is Success and Equity on BCTV. But our current guest spent a considerable amount of time with the United States State Department. And we were talking about things like diplomatic immunity. Yes, it's real. And we were talking about how when you work for the State Department, you meet a lot of people from a lot of other countries. 151 nationalities, did you say, in DC?
In Vancouver.
Yeah, incredible. And you also said that there was sort of a change before. That's what I was talking about when we went hot there. We had a president for a period of time who wasn't popular globally, and this is not a partisan discussion at all. It's just the way people around the world feel. Mm-hmm. But you said that when President Obama was elected, that changed?
Yes, it very much changed for the good because people felt like they had a partner. His approach was more collegial, more let's work together so that the people felt respected. And I think it made us feel better, at least, that we were working with people who had a positive orientation, more positive orientation toward the United States.
Because with diplomacy, you know, sometimes, you get invited to a friend's house for dinner and you're like, oh, gee whiz, boy, they really do things different over here. I mean, if you're going to meet somebody from another country, right, mm-hmm. Who might not have the most positive attitudes towards democracy or gender equity, for another example, that has to be a real shock. And I do think you'd have to walk into that with an open mind. And
well, that was the beauty of my job. I first started off in the consular section, and then I moved into public diplomacy. And in public diplomacy, we were focused on winning the hearts and minds of people, regular people, who we offered opportunities for exchange visits, and this was an opportunity for people to come to the United States and see for themselves and experience firsthand and learn from us, and also to bring their experience to help educate Americans about their culture and the way they do things. So we had many different exchange programs, and I think the most successful one, the most recent one, was the President Obama's program for the Young African Leaders Initiative, which was renamed the Mandela Fellowship, where the State Department brought over 500 young African leaders the first year, 500 the second year, and this year they just opened it up again, and they're going to bring 1,000 African leaders from young people between the ages of 25 and 35. And these are some of the most dynamic people that you will ever meet. And we're having such an impact because when they come to the United States, they see that when they come to the airport and going through customs, there's nobody saying, what do you have for me, with a handout. It would be unheard of, right?
Right, but that's almost like I've traveled into south of the border before, mm-hmm. and I've encountered situations where it would you would expect, like, oh, I'm going to get caught up in the bureaucracy for speeding. And then you discover it's actually a negotiation, a street side negotiation right there.
No.
And just like if you wanted to take drugs through custom in some of those countries, they might catch you and they'd be like, well, this is going to cost you $500.
Right.
That's it, right?
Right.
Yeah,
and not here.
No.
And so when they see that and they
process.
see how the system works, they say, why can't we be like this in our country? They come and they see that our streets are clean. They see that the airport is orderly, and they see monuments. They come back and they tell us what were they most impressed about. The importance that Americans place on history and monuments and documenting the place and history of people, so that people our presidents, for example, they understand that they're leaving a legacy. They're people who are doing things for the good of the country. We also give them opportunities to participate in volunteer experiences. They had no idea that there was such poverty in the United States. They were able to work in soup kitchens. They were able to see people homeless. So they come back and say, the streets are not paved in gold, but people are giving up of themselves. And they're not, as volunteers, they're not asking for anything. They're just trying to make their communities better. And so when I chose to come to Bakersfield, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to play a part to make the community better here, because I feel that we all have a responsibility to give back. I have been greatly benefited by my experiences abroad, and I don't want to keep all of this inside. I want to be able to share with others. As I've been able to do abroad, I've been able to conduct programs for example, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I was certified facilitator, and I conducted 5 different programs, well, in 5 different countries, 5 different embassies, and under the auspices of the State Department and that certification. And the people there were like, I can't believe that I can make choices, that I can be proactive. So these are people I can, these concepts are novel. And so the ability to expand people's horizons to see that you can create the life you want for yourself. You have to choose. You have to have a vision and continue to walk in that vision, but do the work. It doesn't fall out of the sky.
There's no magic.
There's no magic, and it's not going to come to you on a platter. You have to work. And so I can use my own life as an example of saying how I didn't know where French was going to lead me, but French took me to Africa. French was the connection that allowed me to communicate with my current husband, who is a Francophone from the Republic of Benin. If I didn't have French, we would never have been able to have the level of communication required to sustain a healthy marriage. I would never have been able to have the friends that I have all over the world through the ability to speak French. So we don't know where things will lead us, but we have to follow our heart, and if that is whatever it is that you might be interested in music, you could be interested in art, whatever it is, follow that, and the road will lead you where you need to go. But you put in the work, and the fruits will come afterwards. You plow, you plow the ground, you plant the seeds, you water and nurture, and you will have the results.
Then you will have the results. It doesn't come first, folks. Rhonda, I would love to have you on the show again. You're a tremendously dynamic person. I bet we could have gone and talked an hour into any one direction that your life took you in. But it started out in a segregated town in Ohio. But you didn't take any excuses. You didn't use any of that as an excuse. You didn't let your life get dramatically taken off course, and you became pregnant in law school. You kept finding solutions, and I admire you for that. And that's something that I think all the young women out there who have some excuses on the tips of their tongue, spit them out, get them out of your mouth. Nobody wants to hear it when you hear from somebody who lived through it.
Yeah,
So.
and Wayne Dyer says, excuses be gone. You have to nourish your mind with books and literature, videotapes, whatever, to keep you focused in the right direction. And there's plenty out there, and there's no excuse. Go on YouTube, listen, go to classes, go to, even in your churches, I hope that you would be able to find positive messages, but we really have to decide what we want to take in, and that may often mean that we will have to eliminate things that are taking us in the wrong direction. We may have to cut people out of our lives who don't share the same vision that we have, and we have to be more focused on what we want and avoid what we don't want.
Well, that is the truth. I just want to have you on every week. Rhonda, thank you so much for being here. It's been a wonderful episode of Success and Equity on TV, and we found people who followed their dreams, albeit in vastly different directions, but they did it through persistence. And as she said, you till the field, you pull the weeds, you plant the seeds, you furrow the little mounds, you water, you pull weeds, and then you get the prize. Education is the same thing, it's just over a longer timeline. To my production team and to Belinda, I thank you very much. We'll see you again at the same time on Success and Equity on BCTV.